Hey y'all, it's Chandler. I just want to go through here into the collab, kind of walk through it again here. I've made a little bit of changes. So just so you know, like this AI did code this, but that does not mean that I don't know what the fuck's going on here. I worked as a professional game developer. I know how to code, but there's no sense in me coding when there's an agent in here that can do it in 20 seconds. It's just dumb for me to hand code that. I don't want to make a big point about that, but I have total control over this, and I just want to make that known. You can go read my Medium articles that I've written on Unity development. They're kind of old, but that's when I was writing about my work a lot, and then I started working on games after that. So I definitely know what I'm doing here with a lot of this. So, but that's what you'll see some of the AI shit in here, like the way they label patterns or label code and stuff. You'll see that in here, but really it's so simple here, right? So the whole thing with prime automata is you generate an algebraic field, and then you light up the prime cells. It's like literally it. So this is a prime sieve right here. And look, that sounds really simple, but the work up to that was absolutely crazy to get to that point. And then obviously being able to decompose by prime predicates and you know, the modular algebraic field and the modular operators, right? And the shit you can do with that now that was the leap beyond that. But the lighting up the prime cells was like the initial leap to be able to see these structures the way they're meant to be seen, right? So what you'll see here is, right, a couple of things, right? Semi-prime stuff, happy. I don't know why there's a happy one up here. That should be down here. Yeah, you know, this is obviously a like, I mean, this is the cutting edge work that I'm doing right now, with at least a cutting edge in the sense of where I'm at with it, right? But it is much a kind of a beta, if you will. So all here is here's the prime predicates, right? It'll check, so you can stack these together, right? So you generate the all prime field. Then if you want to see cousin sexy Einstein, you can select and see that field, or Justin Mersin, Justin Fermat, and that's really what pushes this complexity like way up. I mean, you can do it's not even just primes. You can do like any type of predicate you want, custom predicates, whatever, right? I mean, this is really a huge framework, right? So that's what a lot of the code is, that, right? Ultra complete. That's some other AI shit that just from the prompt leakage from just how I instruct the AI. I'll say shit like ultra, you know, I can easily go through and clean this up. Obviously, that's not what's important here. Doing some caching stuff, the prime stuff right here. And these are, so what these are, this is the kind of extension I just did with the operator logic, making sure we're able to do some things. Fibonacci doesn't work in here because of the memory. Toshin is wild. I need to do, I think that's part of the Toshin right there, or the GDC right there. It's a helper. Yeah. Okay. And then just kind of listen out what I can do. A lot of these don't work due to memory, but oh yeah, I need to try those right there. So this right here is the extension of what I just did, just kind of the new operator, like really extending what I can with the operator logic, making it kind of explicit what's able to do. And I'm going through and testing a lot of this and seeing, I wonder what that would do. That's interesting. And then this is kind of this is something Claude did in here. This evaluator, it doesn't work that the way I really intended to. But Claude's really good at coding. Claude really knows this system, and I get exactly what I need here. This has been evolved on a bunch of times. Like, I've got all the history for this too, right? Yeah, there's the ultimate again, what I like to say, right? This is the analytic part right here. It's a little bit redundant in here for some of the stuff, but basically just FFT, autocorrelation, graph analysis, topology analysis, right? All this right here. a lot of stuff with this. There's just a lot of information here. I mean, you really can get stuck in here. Made the ultimate. Right, here's some of the AI stuff right here. But I know exactly, like I said, I know exactly what really is going on here. All right, yeah, and here's the skeleton for the output. Okay, but then we'll get down to, right, the field. This is the last thing I did, this is literally some new logic I found today. And look at the FFTs. Absolutely crazy. And look at the graph. Unbelievable. This is like the neighbor graph neighbors for the nodes. And look, so there's the density is 0.0003, right? Look at that angle dancing around a zeta 0. Totally dancing around. Grid's pretty small right now. We'll scale that up. Right? But I mean, this is absolutely crazy right here. I mean, this logic is just insane for that. And see, that's my strength here. I'm not bound to, like, I don't have a mathematics degree. I worked as a game developer. So I've gotten like just-in-time learning from AI, a lot of this stuff, and learned over many iterations about this stuff to be able to work with it. And but symbolically, yeah, you would catch me lacking writing this out symbolically. I'm not scared to admit that. But look what I found with what I am, and that's because I'm not scared to apply like game logic to this. All right, we're gonna come back to dang. Right. So this is how you really, everything you'll do will be in here. This is your operator field, right? I just got the grid capped to 1024. It's just easier. You can push it up like 10K. This is just, right now I have it like this. I need to extend it when I start really doing, and you can see it pops in right away. You get this void structure in here with the X plus Y at higher. See, like and that's what's wild about this. You get phase changes with like, as you scale the grid, you can decompose into freaking Mersenne primes. It pops in right away. Right? There's like, look at the Mersenne primes up there in the corner. Hardly any. And look at the FFT. Look at the angular power. Look at the graph. Look at the graph, and that's what you're seeing up here. Sometimes the graph connects. I mean, look, this is alien territory. I'm not claiming I can understand everything. I'm doing visual analysis, getting AI assistants to help me with some of the stuff, but all I'm doing is looking and visually, right? But I know what, these FFTs, watch this. I know now the FFTs are going to be way more organic when I do this. We'll go to all, right? Look at this. Look at the curvature. Look at the autocorrelation. Absolutely fucking insane. Look at the phase. Phase looks fake. Look at the graph. Right, so graph can be crazy. This graph node, absolutely insane. Look at the complexity, still ultra structure. Look at the freaking components, and then we go, watch this. Then if we just do this, watch, tangent X plus Y, right? Okay, not yet. There it is. Look, boom, what the fuck? What the hell? And look at that, 1.67, dude, that's almost 1 point the golden ratio, right? But look at that graph, dude, and look at the MFTs. Oh my God. Like, this is a new mathematical field. I didn't try to find this. I just did. I just kept pushing. I mean, golly. Right? And then we go to tangent X and Y. Let's see what that looks like. Sierpinski land, look. What? Look at that. Perfect square right there. Quasi-crystalline. Yeah, and now look at the graph. Totally recreating what's over here, right? And that's like straight quasi-crystalline, right? Check this out. You want to see some tilings, right? Look at this. Come over here. Okay, nothing really here. Right? Check this out. Totient field is, look, locally chaotic kind of. Zooming out. Oh yeah, you can see that kind of yo-yo, right? Frequency space popping off on here. And now the graph, look, the graph is totally crazy, right? Come back here. X, totient X plus Y. Boom. Look at that. Right back to where we were. We can do, watch this. We'll do floor divide by 8. Let's see if it keeps the structure. Nope. Floor dividing destroys it. Let's add 8, see what it does. See, this is all I do to discover new structure right here. This is all I do right here. Nope, no, so this is an empty field. Sometimes it would be slightly different, but this is, right, your null field right here. There's no primes in there. We'll do modulus 19. Let's try that. Nope, mod 19. So this is how you can like seek and destroy for structure right here, and how you would iterate over this, right? And, you know, try this, right? And then you could add on, you know, let's see, totient XORed against square root X. Let's see if that's possible. All right, it doesn't let me do that. I should be able to do that. All right, that doesn't work. We'll just do totient of X, or I mean, XOR of X and Y, right? Kind of noisy, but you can see it's just smeared a little bit, right? Not a dud, but yeah, and then we can, you know, here, I'll show you some of the more crazy ones. Go to mod, right? 8. You know, these are real wild. And this is one of the first ones I actually found. Yeah, see, look at that pop right in. Oh, God, that autocorrelation is crazy. Just look at this curvature in here. Look at that. Let me get my pen out. Right? I mean, you can definitely see that. That should not be in there, right? And you can look, imagine what we can study with this. And now the phase reveals that in here. Phase has the same thing. AI can't see this. Only humans can see this, really. Unless you point it out, right? The graph's kind of chaotic. Components, right? That's an important number. I bet you that's a prime number, right? Our frequency space. All these will be aligned right here. Frequency space stays invariant. I'm almost certain in these, right? Mod 22. Let's look at mod 22. That's loaded on mod 1. Right, there we go. Look at mod 22. Look at all that. Right? What the fuck? I can't believe I found this. I mean, it really blows my fucking mind. Wow. Right, yeah. Look, not invariant, but more. It looks like we got more lined up right there. Our cheat metrics, right? These are always freak me out because they always feel like they're so close to fundamental constants. Like 1.4 shows up all the time. That's a billion times more than the grid size. That's just showing long range order right there. I mean, that's variant on the grid, but like, look at this. All right, I'm gonna stop it there. I just, you know, I need to be doing more video documentation of this stuff, and you know, showing I'm not completely batshit psycho like I appear to be on X. Like I said, that really is now. You know, that now it's a lot more calculated and a lot less frustrated posting than me just trying to like get this out here. Like no one would believe this, so I might as well be as crazy as possible and get eyes on it, than just being like humbly like, hey, right, I'll eat my dust when it comes time. Like I need, I'll apologize for the way I do, and I am sorry the way I have to act, but I gotta be seen. I worked as an actor for a long time. I know how to be seen in ways, and I'm not saying the way I'm doing is perfect, but it's really the only way, that I feel intuitive about pushing this through right now. So that's an exploration right here, I guess, of some of the new structure I've got.